about 40 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We are live. It's the Red Cup review. Damn it, I promised you guys at 6:30. It's 6:52. We had a lot of technical difficulties with the audio, but that's okay. Anyways, if I could, and there we go. The same goddamn mistake I make every time.
Mute it.
There we go. I know. All right, that's paused up. All right, remember, guys, blow up the chat. Make sure to like and join us. All right, check it out. If I could only rewind the clocks back about almost 30 years now, I think the date was like 1996, I believe. I believe it was Wizard number 59 that she had the cover of. And I got it through the mail. And I remember being like, yo, what's up with this crazy samurai looking chick, right? And I was young. I was in grammar school. And at that time, I was big into drawing. I wanted to be a comics artist myself, but I was lazy. Point blank. It was never meant to happen. But I was also in a stage where I was kind of obsessed, and in a very like you look up to people, you obsess over them, you got to know everything about them. And I remember seeing an artist pop up. Not only did he do the cover of the issue, but it might have been a few years earlier even that I saw him in the top 10 of artists to watch on the hottest artist list at the time or something like that. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? Obviously Billy Tucci. He's here with us now. Yeah. And here I am, so many years later, and I'm actually interviewing the friggin' guy. So this is like completely blowing my mind. So legendary comic book artist, creator of Shi, Child is Born, Sergeant Rock comics. He does Miss Fury. We are live with Mr. Bill Tucci.
What's up, everybody?
I tell you,
is Baz on?
Baz is on and off. He's trying to get on again. I don't know if his audio is working. We got yours to work, so we got to kind of go with that. He's like still.
Come on, man. Get with the program, bro.
I know. The same thing happened last week. Anyways, Bill,
not you.
Start off with the thank yous. Thank you for coming on. I know, like the missus right off camera right now, smiling ear to ear. I mean, thanks for hanging with us.
Oh, are you kidding me, man? This is great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna get right down to it.
All right.
Tell us about Zombie Sama. This is your new creation, correct?
Yeah, well, it's actually an old creation. Zombie Sama is a book that I came up with, story I came up with about 15 years ago, before Shaun of the Dead. And then when Shaun of the Dead came out, I got pissed. That I wanted to make a funny, funny zombie story, basically about like this kid who he's such a slacker, you know what I mean? He's a loser, and the best thing that ever happened to him is a zombie apocalypse. And his whole life gets turned around in a minute when his town is eaten by irradiated, nuclear contaminated, zombies. And it's funny. It's a lot of fun. He screws up all the time, but he ends up becoming a real hero. He's a delivery boy for a sushi shop. He ends up taking the samurai sword above the cash register, and next door is a dive shop, and there's a shark suit in there. That shark suits are these chainmail suits when guys go with feed sharks and stuff. He puts that on and puts that on and goes out and saves his friends. And it's a real great story. It's a romantic comedy with his girlfriend. He gets his girlfriend back, and I won't tell you what he does to her at the end. He was a killer, but he becomes this hero, becomes Zombie Sama, and it's a fun story. But but then John Brolia, my partner on it, who's the artist, we crafted this entire epic, 3 issues, three giant issues, so maybe about 400 pages of Zombie Sama. So this is Zombie Sama, the first one, which is Dawn of the Apocalypse. Then next year we have Zombie Sama 2, Dorm of the Dead, when he goes to college. Everything's done, everything's good, and then finally it all happens again, but he's locked in a dorm room. And then the third one is when he goes to Japan. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun story. It's fun, make it fun, like how comics used to be. Real Kirby, real Ditko, real Stan Lee, real eerie, back in the day. Fun stuff. Kind of a fun, like, you want to go see a movie and you want to escape and laugh your ass off, But
yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's like like you took the words right out of my mouth. Anything I could say, like, it's just a throwback to classic, just fun. Yeah. Lose yourself in this type of a book, And that's what we read these comics for, you know. Sometimes we want something a little deep, and sometimes we just want escapism. You know, it's the same thing with the movies and all the type of different things we consume. So
absolutely,
this is now. I'll tell you, I wanted to contribute to this thing when you're on Kickstarter. Now the Kickstarter had ended for this, but you got the Indiegogo going right now.
Yes,
and I wanted to the last night, for some stupid ass reason, I waited until the last night, and there was a snow emergency in New York City. Now, I join your live things for once in a while, and you know, I work for the New York City Department of Sanitation. So I got stuck in a snow emergency. I wasn't able to contribute, but I'm going to contribute tonight in about a few minutes, right after we get this thing cracking, rocking and rolling. So to show everybody and walk them right through exactly how easy it is and how cool it is and everything else. So,
oh, thank you, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
What was your experience with Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and how did this whole thing blow up? Because I got to tell you, the Indiegogo thing really just took this to a whole nother freaking level.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. There's a couple of reasons for it. One, you know, I'd heard about Indiegogo, but we were already set up at Kickstarter because we did sweatshirts last year, hoodies to raise money for veterans and to protect my copyright. There was just some Chi-Com company on Facebook that were, stealing my images, and they were making prints making, hoodies and T-shirts and crap like that. So we already set up with Kickstarter. We said, let's do Kickstarter 30 days. And we did good. We raised, and they had all the big levels too. We did $32,000. And then, I was talking to Ethan Van Sky. I was like, dude, you got to do Indiegogo. You got to do Indiegogo. So I'm like, and then I learned through this process that there are certain people that will only pledge on Kickstarter, just like there's only certain people that pledge on Indiegogo. And it's wild, but my whole thing is, well, I want to reach the widest audience possible. So we did Kickstarter first, did it for 30 days, and we raised I think it was $32,000, and then some people pull their pledges, which I know are my friends, because once we got funded, they were like, okay, he's got his money, he doesn't need it. So they pulled it, and then and we hit our goal on Kickstarter in 7 hours. In 2 weeks, we hit $25,000. And I know there's a little comic that could. It's not Shi. Shi will be a big thing. But we wanted to get cut our Kickstarter teeth with, our crowdfunding teeth with it. But then in this process during the Kickstarter, I was talking to Ethan Van Sciver, talking to a bunch of my friends. They're like, yeah, I only shop at Indiegogo. I only pledge to Indiegogo campaigns because Kickstarter seems to get really political. Like, it's weird. Like, we hit our goal in 7 hours of, I think 15 grand we wanted. And then we were never like a book they love. We were never like a recommended book. We were never what we're reading now type of thing. Like, they didn't really promote us that much. So once the Kickstarter ended, I was real happy with it. And sorry if you hear my son screaming. He's playing Fortnite with his friends. Then we so I did an Indiegogo. I got on Ethan Van Sciver's show. Now this is after we already had 440 backers for the Kickstarter. We hit Indiegogo. We hit our $10,000 goal in 2 hours.
Oof! And
then we hit our $15,000 stretch goal, I think, in like 3 hours. And then now we're over $28,000. We're almost at $29,000 with the Indiegogo, and this is only a 2-week campaign. So in 1 week, we've made almost as much money as in 4 weeks that we made on Kickstarter. Now, nothing against Kickstarter. I think it's a great platform and everything, but it seems that Indiegogo might be a little more fairer to creators and to publishers. And the whole point why we're doing this is some people like, oh, you're double dipping, and that's not the case at all. Like, we've worked on this book for 2 years. John's never gotten paid. He's penciled inked 60 pages of art and story. He's never gotten paid. So the whole point with this is now we can finally make a profit, but then we're going to put that money into Zombie Sama 2 so John can start doing Zombie Sama 2. And we're going, and we're more the book originally was 60 pages. The Kickstarter stretch goal got it to 64 pages. We added another story of another property of mine called Company Z. And then with the Indiegogo, because we hit that $15,000 stretch goal, we expanded the book to 72 pages. So now all the Kickstarter backers will get all the rewards, the same rewards as the Indiegogo people are getting. So the Kickstarter people will get a 72-page comic filled with art and story and all that, and a more premium format, better paper, you know what I mean, higher quality stuff, and a lot of all the cool stickers and buttons and whatever, all the other stuff we're doing. A trading card. I forget. My wife does that. I don't remember what. There's a lot of cool stretch goals.
Yeah, the stretch goals are awesome, and on top of that, you guys got these crazy different tiers where you can get like actual original art.
Yeah.
I think some of it's already sold out, like the sketch cover stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that's sold out. Yeah, I'm sorry,
but that's what you want, though. That's like it's but that you want everything to sell out.
Yeah,
you know? That's the friggin' goal of this whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
I needed something so much. I just did this. And it was posted all over social media this week. I just did this. I don't know if you can see it. My Archie versus Predator #1 cover.
Awesome.
So and I put the roughs up too. Here's the roughs to it, and it's the original art. So I'm like, man, I guess I should put this original art up. You know. So I put it's in the UV coated paper. That's why it might look weird. But so I just put that art. I just put the artwork up. John Broly just put his cover up, the Akira homage cover, but that sold like that. So it's pretty cool. So maybe tonight we can hit 30 grand. And I think that'll be pretty incredible in 1 week to hit $30,000. And again, it's not Shi, you know what I mean? So Shi is, you know, we've sold 3 million copies of Shi. You know, there's probably 100 issues of Shi out there that I've done. So, you know, she's a known commodity. Zombie Sama isn't, you know, and I'm just so appreciative of everybody that came, all my friends and, you know, people I've met at conventions and stuff, that they had such faith in us that they actually went out and, you know, paid their hard-earned dollars to make this book a reality. And it's going to be a reality. It's pretty great. I'm fucking pumped. Sorry. I'm pumped.
No, you can let it fly here, bro.
Okay. I don't know. You know.
That's cool. I've been when you guys were doing the Kickstarter, I was promoting you on the Red Cup, saying, you know, go, you know, check out Billy and stuff, because, you know, you gave me the interview. Anybody that wants to go see the interview, the first interview I did with Billy from Turfacon last year, go and check that in the Red Cup archives. All right. So when I was promoting it, the whole idea of from my perspective is support the artist directly, right? Here's a question I want for you. I'm sure it's much easier, but there's got to be a completely different beast when you're working for Marvel, or I believe you did Heroes for Hire for them, right? And then you like do some covers for DC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The difference between working for a giant organization and then supporting the artist directly, and to me, I'm all about supporting the artist directly. You know?
Well, and I appreciate that. The thing what's weird is that, and I love, you know, Marvel and DC is the brass ring, and there's an interesting story is that when I went to Marvel, my mentor, who was my best friend John's father, is John Tartaglione, longtime Marvel inker, art director, bullpen guy. He worked at Marvel for 35 years or so, and he set me up a meeting with John Romita. So I went to go see John Romita, and this is probably the fall of 1993. And John Romita, I showed him my samples, and it was Shi #1. So John Romita's looking through this. He's like, "What is this?" I said, "Oh, it's my comic book I'm putting out. I'm going to put out next year." And he's like, "You're going to put out a comic book?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're writing and drawing, and you're going to publish your own comic, full color comic?" I didn't have the colors. I just explained to him. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What the hell are you doing here for?" And I said, "Whoa, this is the brass ring. This is Marvel. You know, I'm a fan. I want to, you know." He's like, "Listen, kid, this is great." He goes, "You do your comic. If it doesn't work out, here's my direct line. Call me. You'll always have work here at Marvel if you'd like." And of course, the book just exploded. You know what I mean? It just friggin' exploded. So I called him, of course, to thank him. And of course, I've had dinner with him and seen him. And Johnny Jr. is one of my best friends, his son. And I just love that family. And the thing is, when, like you said, when you support the creator, you're supporting the creator. And they're putting their heart, their soul, their blood, their toil, their tears, everything into this book. And the same goes with but even with Marvel and DC, I mean, you look at the stuff that Scott Snyder's doing and Greg Capullo or Donny Cates. I mean, the mainstream stuff, you know, that Jimmy Palmiotti writes for them, and it's glorious. It's amazing, and they do throw everything. They do throw all of themselves into it. But there's nothing as satisfying as, like you said, you know, I got my rack here, and my rack's all the books I do. But there's nothing as satisfying as looking at that one part right there, and that's all yours. You own everything.
That was going to be my next question to you, is that it's like, was it surreal we're going back obviously in time into the early 90s to actually see, you know, you're in Wizard now, there's your own property that you're kind of like, this is total grassroots.
Yeah. And Brian Pulido too. Like me, Brian Pulido were the ones, you know, that that you know, I got to meet Brian. Brian was the first pro because I met Brian at San Diego Comic-Con in '93 before I met John Romita a few months later. And he had faith in me. Brian's like, he had his little table, and in small press, he had a 6-foot table. And he's like, he goes, yeah, I'll hire you. You want to do a pinup or something? I'm like, yeah. And he was just telling me about Evil Ernie and the books he has coming out. And, you know, we just hit it off. And he was like, the first pro to like me, you know what I mean? Or to show me some respect, you know, because back then it was everybody wanted to draw comics. Everybody wanted to write them. Comics were, you know, Image Guys were selling millions of copies. And he took the time to actually, you know, to treat me like like an equal, a peer. And it was great. And we'd have that conversation like, oh my God, you know, like San Diego Comic-Con '94. Now here's Brian with a table and small press in '93, a 6-foot table. No one there. Well, a few people online because Evil Ernie was like a cult hit. There's me trying to get work standing online at all these places. And in 1994, we were the big things. We got on Channel 4, you know, the NBC, we got on E! Network. We got so busy that the lines were so crazy where we were in our booths that they had to move us to the autograph section. And I remember I was standing next to William Shatner. I had a bigger line than Shatner did in '94 at San Diego. It was crazy.
That is totally freaking crazy.
You know, and he asked my wife, and the same thing. We were like, "Oh my God, how is this happening?" And it's all because of the fans, the readers take a chance on a little comic. And now I'm sitting here with you. You know what I mean? You're interviewing me. This is awesome.
Now
this changed my life.
That's dude, please. Like the fucking smile ain't gonna get any bigger. All right. So the young me, 12 years old.
Yes.
Right, not knowing really that like when Image broke off from Marvel and all those guys were kind of in that pool together. And then I'm like reading Wizard and kind of like half paying attention because, you know, I'm really looking at the pictures and stuff like that. I always pictured Shi because that was happening around the same time as like part of that whole like and even to this day when I think of Shi, it's always goes back to like all those other artists and guys that were doing things with Image. Like I never even realized that Shi was an independent property. And what's funny about that is that every time I talk to somebody, a friend of mine, whatever, you remember Shi? Yeah, we always remember Shi because it was always part of that big independent comic boom where everyone was kind of coming up together, you know?
Well, what I also did, though, Shi, what I wanted to do is when, you know, we had published so many books, and it's probably 99 or so, and I just, maybe 2000, I didn't like the direction it was going, and we're still selling. We had a monthly. We're probably selling 32,000 copies a month, and I was just done. And I'm like, that's it. I want to end it. I want to end it while it's popular.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think I did, you know, and that's what people, every show I go, when's she coming out? You know, for the past 20 years or so, when's she coming out? You know, and I would still do a little book, you know, crossovers and miniseries, but I didn't have it out like I did every month or a couple of issues a month or things like that. And it was cool, man. It was cool. So people like that I was putting the books out, and that I was you know, getting them out. And I think I think I went out at the right time, and I kept people wanting for more. So now people do want more, and it seems people are real excited about our Indiegogo. And I think we're going to launch Indiegogo first for Shi, and because there's no reason why not to go both. But Indiegogo's a beast, man. And I got a lot of allies, a lot of friends that do Indiegogo, a lot of fellow creators that love it and swear by it. And it's pretty cool, man. It's I'm psyched. So we're looking at Shi Indiegogo. We wanted it at the end of May, but it might have to be early June now, which is kind of cool because Shi's birthday is June 12th. So that'll be 25 years after, well, it'll be 26 years after I got her copyrighted with the U.S. Copyright Office. So it'd be kind of cool to do it on her birthday, her 25th birthday, say, and launch the Shi, the Shi Return of the Warrior storyline through Indiegogo. And, but because we're doing the reason why it's going to be in June is because the hardcovers for Zombie Sama take 6 to 8 weeks minimum to get made, because you can get them made here in America or in Canada, but they're just too expensive. They're just so expensive. So you got to get a better price. You have to go to Korea. I think it's in Korea is where they're being printed. So
nice. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. So that's why the book it's going to take longer to get this, but it's a real premium format hardcover for the Zombie Sama book.
That's awesome. All right. So Here you go. Oh, they shout outs real quick to everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. And one of our guys here in the chat, Thor, his birthday is June 12th. So
hey, Thor,
there you go. Freaking awesome.
What's Thor's last name? Is he Thor that I know from?
He's not Thor of Asgard, that's for sure.
No. There's a Thor. Thor on Twitter is the one that found out the dude wanted to murder me and my wife on Twitter that time.
No, I don't think it's this guy, bro. Thor Gunderson is a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, I think that is Thor Gunderson.
Oh, now I gotta I gotta go look.
Yeah, Thor. Is that my buddy Thor? My glasses. Hang on, let me get my glasses.
Bullshit, bro.
Ask Thor. Type to Thor and see if he's the same Thor, because Thor's the one that alerted the FBI, I think, and they showed up my damn house.
Holy shit.
Crazy.
That's crazy, man.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Over comic books? Freaking weirdo,
Yeah, no, that's just
dude, and I think it's Thor Gunderson. Let me go on I don't want to screw this up. Let me go on Twitter and see if it's Thor. Because he's awesome, man. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you here. Baz, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we still can't hear you, bro. So
I hear him. I hear him.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So after this, we're gonna have to figure you out, okay? Because
man, you're screwing everything up, bro.
Try restart.
What's up, Bill,
you restart your computer. Try restarting your computer and coming back.
I'm using an Apple computer. I'm using somebody else's computer.
That's what works with us. I had to restart my computer in order to get the audio. That's what took so friggin' long to get us on.
So restart it? Okay.
The Thor that told the FBI about me is Thor Odinson.
No, okay, there you go.
So you're Anderson.
Anyways, okay, so we're doing Zombie Sama now, right? Then we're gonna make our way into Shi Return of the Warrior.
How do you restart it?
And then you have a little project in development that I'm particularly hyped for called Company Z. Yeah, I just love the friggin' premise of it.
Yeah,
Baz, we're talking about this because it has like that that military feel. I know you're big into the military and the vets and stuff. So tell me a little bit about this Company Z and what's going on with that.
Company Z is my last zombie story. It's probably the first one I thought of. And what Company Z is, it's the Dirty Dozen meets 28 Days Later. And what the story is, it's about World War II reenactors. And they're at an air show, and this is part of an airborne demonstration team. And these guys dress in all World War II garb. I mean, everything that the paratroopers wore that when they jumped into Normandy. And they know everything about the uniforms. They know where the uniforms are manufactured. They know where the laces of the boots were manufactured. They know exactly what type of webbing was used. They know everything about the World War II paratroopers and their exploits of World War II, but they've never been in combat. And the thing is that now, when they're at this air show, and they literally do dress in World War II gear, authentic World War II gear, and they parachute out of a C-47 plane. So, and they're big. They go to Normandy, they go to Holland, and these airborne demonstration teams are awesome. I want to join one because a lot of them are made up of ex-paratroopers like me and stuff. So,
you were a paratrooper?
Yeah, I was. I was in the Army. I was in the Army National Guard. I was in an airborne unit, infantry.
Oh, that's freaking awesome,
Just a grunt. So,
I remember telling you way back when my Uncle Jimmy was a paratrooper back in World War II.
Yeah, and those guys are my heroes, man. Today is actually the 94th birthday, heavenly birthday of my hero, Don Burgett. And Don Burgett, he parachuted to Normandy, parachuted into Holland. He fought all the way through the Battle of the Bulge. He got wounded twice. Survived the campaigns of World War II and came home on New Year's Eve, 1944. And he stopped at a bar waiting for the train to take him to Detroit, I think from New York, or I forget what bar he was at, someplace where the train stopped. And they wouldn't sell him a beer because he was only 20 years old. Wow. He was underage. And then one of the guys said, yeah, because he had all his medals, you know what I mean? And here's this guy with 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, all this stuff. And they basically said, hey, you can have a beer, son. But yeah, today's Don's birthday. So, but anyway, so here's the story now is that these guys, it's during one of the air show is when a human strain of rabies outbreak happened. And now these guys have to end up trading in their blanks from their M1 Garands or the Thompson machine guns. And they have to literally parachute into an elementary school to save a bunch of kids being besieged by thousands of these infected. And it's another story about these, ordinary guys or inordinary people that are thrust into an extraordinary situation. They become heroes. And it's a great story. That's going to be my first movie I direct.
Nice. That's freaking awesome. And now is that like waiting in the wings after She? Is that like the third?
After She, that's for 2020. We do Company C.
Nice. That's freaking awesome, man.
Now, all right. So, can everybody else hear James? I can hear him.
You can hear him?
Yeah.
You can hear him. Everyone else can hear him. I can't hear him for some reason.
So,
like, I listen. If you guys can hear him in the chat, say yes. We can hear you, Baz. And then, Baz, you can, I guess, talk to Billy for a second. I'm going to pull up the Indiegogo and start my little contribution walkthrough there. So,
thank you. Yeah, if anybody doesn't mind, if you wouldn't mind sharing, that'd be awesome. Because everyone's working so friggin' hard on this book. You know?
All right, I'm going to bring this up here. Then I'm going to go to screen share. All right, on here. Let's see. Screen share on my end. And right there. Now I'm going to be making my pledge right here. So everybody else that's watching, listen, you guys want to support the artist. I'm a big fan of this. I usually only buy, even like my t-shirts now. When I buy t-shirts, I try to go to places like Redbubble where I know most of the artists are getting their money specifically.
Yeah.
Here it is on Indiegogo right here, as you guys can see as I'm talking. Zombie Sama. And they got like, okay, you got like the $10 for the digital PDF, you know, so that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of stuff already claimed. They got sketch cover comics, the Indiegogo editions. I'll tell you where I'm going, because this is something that I wanted to do back when you guys were on Kickstarter. I'm going to do this now, scroll down. And I'm going to have to actually unscreen share this because I don't want you guys to see my personal information. Unfortunately, yeah, you guys, you know, I owe everybody in the chat a friggin' beer for always coming by and all that stuff, but I can't share you my personal credit card information or where I actually live. But I'm looking right here. This is what I had my eyes on right here. The hardcover sketch edition.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
And
cool.
I'm totally psyched out. And I love that freaking cover. When I first saw that cover right there with the dude jumping into the water, and then I saw all the zombie faces in the actual splashback of the water. Yeah. You guys got to check out this art. It's pretty true. So what was it like? What is it like? I know you write She and you draw it, right? What's it like just being able to sit back and write the story kind of?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's really great. It's especially when you work with an artist like John, you know, I mean, he's got a real cinematic style, and calls me, he's like, I'm going to do this with the panel. I'm like, absolutely, go ahead. You know, he's fantastic. And I know I love it. I love writing. You know, drawing can start to get laborious. I love doing the roughs. Like even when I was doing like this cover, I had so much fun doing the roughs of the, you know, Archie versus Predator rough. And then when I get to it, of course, it's fun to draw it, you know, the cover and ink it and all that. But there's just something so exciting about the initial stages when you write or when you do breakdowns, you know, and what's cool about writing is that you're actually, you know, drawing with words and you give descriptions and all. And so I love it. I got to tell you, I love it. That's easier.
You just have to sit back and kind of.
But you got to learn to edit yourself too, though. You know what I mean? You have to learn to edit. You can't have every page be 6 panels. You know what I mean? You've got to really learn. You let the art do the talking, do the storytelling. You know, it's a visual medium. You don't have to explain everything if the artist is showing it. You know, that's
so when you're writing something. I know sometimes writers have this thing where they kind of they go panel by panel and they lay out everything for the artist.
Yeah.
Do you guys take a more like classic Marvel approach? Like
this book? Yeah. With Zombie Sama, this book is all done in Marvel style.
Oh, nice.
The way that, you know, we came up with a plot and John just went with it. And so the art's all done and I'm writing the script now. I got to have the script finished on Wednesday and send that to the editor and to John for approval. But yeah, no, this is all John. I mean, because he is the heart and soul of Zombie Sama. I mean, he's amazing. It's fantastic. It's amazing.
And
again, this is a fun comic, so let's do this. You know, like Marvel 1964, you know, 1970. Let's do some fun, crazy stuff. You know, Moebius and Werewolf by Night and cool stuff like that I love, you know?
From a fan step, back when you were just starting out and all that other good stuff, when you were kind of like more in fan mode, I'm sure you're still a fan now. Do we ever really grow out of that stuff? I mean,
yeah, we all get into this because we're fans.
Back then, who were like your top guy? Who makes Billy Tucci, you know, shaking his little cowboy boots?
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah. Oh man, I gotta tell you, like it's so funny. Like when I first got in, because I didn't need anybody, because I was publishing my own comics. I became friends with everybody. So then I became friends with my heroes, like like Stan Lee loved us, loved my family. Stan loved my wife, loved me. As Joni was friends with Debbie, or not friends, but friendly. To see each other at at parties and stuff. And actually, I met Stan when Joni and Debbie were online at San Diego Comic-Con 1994 to get lunch. Believe it or not, and all of a sudden I see Debbie come walking up to me with Joan and Stan Lee. She's like, I want to introduce you to my new friends I just met. And that's how San Diego Comic-Con was back then. And it was big. It was the biggest convention by far. But back then, Stan Lee's getting lunch. But Joe Kubert was my hero. Dave Stevens. Frank Miller. And I actually got to hang out with Frank Miller in France. No, we were in England. You
can hear me on that?
We were in England. And in October, meet Jimmy Palmiotti, John Romita, Frank Miller, and Frank Thierry. It was great. It was a great all New Yorker guys. It was a fantastic weekend. And then a couple of the Brit guys and stuff like that. But I got to hang out with, I showed Frank Miller my tattoo, which is from, it's the same from the inscription of 300, where at the scene where they said, Spartans, lay down your arms, and then Leonidas says, Persians, come and get them. That's what this is. This is the inscription at Thermopylae at Leonidas' statue. It says come and take. It's Malone LeVay. And
nice.
It's a statement, from the service when I was in and stuff like that. And I showed him that, and he was like, "Oh my God," he couldn't believe it, So that was real lucky. Like I said, Frazetta, Frank Miller, John Romita, Dave Stevens, Stan Lee. I never met Jack Kirby. Jack died, I think, on February 14th, 1984.
Oh, my friggin' birthday, bro.
Is that your birthday? Happy birthday, buddy. Well.
For 2 months ago. That's cool.
Yeah, it's too late. But yeah, I think he died on your birthday. And I remember because I was like, oh my God, I think I just booked my booth for San Diego. And I'm like, we're going to San Diego, we're gonna meet Jack Kirby. And he died. So I never got to meet Kirby, but Joe Sinnott, hero of mine. Gee whiz, there's so many,
he just retired.
Yeah, he did. Yep. George Perez, of course. And we got a surprise with the Shi Indiegogo coming out from George Perez. I can't say anything more, but nice. George Perez just retired too. And I've been real fortunate, bro. It's been incredible. Like I said, and now you're interviewing me, someone that you bought my books, you know what I mean? And knew who I was, and you're interviewing me, and it's incredible. Like I said, you guys changed my life, and I could be painting bridges for a living if it wasn't for people like you.
Yeah, so man. There you go.
The time at the conventions, I always got to be, I hope I'm always accessible and stuff. I've always made a point to be, and it's amazing. What an amazing ride to live a dream, to do what you're doing. Incredible. It's just incredible.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. All right, well, here we go. I'm doing the screen share to show you guys.
I saw it. Thank you.
There you go. There's the screen share. Thank you for backing up. Everybody go back this campaign. Come on. It's a crazy-ass zombie story. It's going to be awesome. And if the zombie stories aren't your thing, then obviously you guys got to back the Shi, because that's where it's at right there, too.
And
Bill. Yes.
What
are your favorite characters?
What was that?
James is asking me what my favorite character is.
Characters.
My favorite character of all time is the Rocketeer.
Oh, is that the helmet behind you?
Yes, that helmet behind me.
That makes sense,
This is a mold. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. This, I got at San Diego 1994, is an actual mold from the film, the helmet.
Wow, that's insane.
Stefan Roux is actually making a customized Rocketeer motorcycle, and he wants this because he wants to use it for the headpiece, and then he's going to make a copy for me and making it like with the paints and everything like that. But that's it. Isn't that cool? It's like one of my prized possessions.
That's freaking awesome, man.
I love the Rocketeer. Aside from Rocketeer, obviously I love Sergeant Rock. Let's see, Sergeant Rock. Let me think. Man, there's so many, right?
What about the pulp characters like the Shadow and?
Yeah, I love Miss Fury. Like to do Miss Fury, we got a big meeting with Dynamite next week. We solicited Miss Fury. It hasn't.
Hi.
Yo, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing, buddy? We is that the same kid that was in with Baz?
That's the kid that did the interview with you at Terrificon. My boy.
Hey.
So anyway, so, we what the hell am I talking about? He's got me off.
Miss Fury. Miss Fury.
Yeah. So we want to do with Miss Fury though, because there was so much heat on that book that the Dynamite guys want to do something really special with it. So I think we might be crowdfunding Miss Fury too, to make it a nice prestige format book, because we want to do her. There's been a lot of other Miss Fury books out there because she is in the public domain, so people can do Miss Fury. And we want to really do her justice and do June Tart Mills, her creator. Miss Fury is for those of you who don't know it, she's the first comic book character, a superhero that was created by a woman. It was written and illustrated by June Tart Mills. She did it for 10 years. And it really is the costume that launched 1,000 costumes. I mean, if you look at Catwoman, it's Miss Fury. That's the costume. So it's an important story. It takes place during World War II. I did a lot of research, and it's great. So there's news coming out for that. We just wanted to make it. We have to do her honor. It's more important to do this book and maybe lose money than to make it just another random comic book that's out there. It's got to be. It's got to be a continuation of June Mills's work. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. So that's why we have a big meeting next weekend, with next Friday with me and Dynamite.
Yeah, Bill. I think if you Indiegogo that'll be big, man.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I hope so. But the thing is like I said, when you do the levels, like I said, the hardcovers and stuff, they're expensive to do because they are small. You know, you're doing small runs, and even and thank you, Rob, for getting that book, because my commissions, when I do a headshot at a commission, it's $100. So for $100, you're also going to get this hardcover, you know what I mean, comic. And I don't know how many there's going to be. There might be, is there 500 of them, 400 hardcovers? That's it with Zombie Sama. So it's not a big book, you know, it's not a high level thing. So I think it's a pretty cool level for people to get. So, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll knock it out of the park. I'll do a great one for you. And I think the hardcover has me and John Broly's art in it. So you get two sketches.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys, I know you're going to knock it out of the park, bro. Come on. That's awesome. All right. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I'd love to get you back on when you launch the Shi Kickstarter. That would be maybe we can actually get the damn audio to work by then, and it'll be a much better live show. We'll get Baz's stuff sorted out. So I don't know everyone can hear him, which is great. I just can't hear him. So we're gonna figure that out.
You can't hear me still?
I can't hear you, bro. Everyone else can. What are you gonna do? Anyways, now I want to segue real quick and just give anybody in the chat room a chance to ask Mr. Tucci a question. I'll read the. Can you see the chat on your end, or otherwise I can just say it out to you?
What's the website? I can go to it.
It's just Red Cup Review on YouTube.
Go to YouTube. All right, hang on. My glass.
Volume's not on. Go ahead.
Since I have YouTube, can I actually join the live stream?
You could. Well, you can't join it, but you can watch it and type or whatever.
It?
Yeah.
Okay, but what is it?
It's Mommy Guy.
And I'll subscribe to your page. If you guys could subscribe to my page too, I have crowdfunding.
Oh, I've been a Tucci trooper, bro. I could Billy Tucci's gonna subscribe to Red Cup. How fucking awesome is this?
Red Cup. Well, I have friggin' red cups down there. We just had my son's birthday party.
That's it. There you go.
All right, I'm on now. I think I'm on. Let's see.
How awesome is this?
Red Cup. All right, let me mute it. All right. I do have a face for radio, so I apologize. I'll move the camera back, guys, a little bit.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to ask, obviously he's got the chat up now. He could see you guys. Type away, ask away.
Yeah, Robert, just a fan. Heard Sergeant Rock died in the comics after the end of World War II. I heard. No, Robert, actually, Sergeant Rock was killed, and I pitched this story to DC, and this is one of the things that's heartbreaking about working for the Big Two, because you could love these characters so much, and that's why we got into comics. And it's a story that I think it's the best Sergeant Rock story I've ever done. I think it's better than a Lost Battalion, and for one reason or another, with scheduling and stuff, it's on hold, or we'll see if they do it. But it tells a story of just before Sergeant Rock gets killed. It's a story based on the last 3 days of the war. It's called War No More, but Sergeant Rock was supposedly killed on the last day of the war in the last hour by the last bullet of World War II.
Oof.
They never showed it, but they talked about it. I think did Brian Azzarello wrote it, and Joe Kubert did the story. And forgive me if the writer, if it's not Brian Azzarello, it's one of them great writers like Brian or someone like that wrote the actual story that talked about it. And they showed Rock getting killed trying to save a little girl in a German village. But any other questions?
Someone says here, have you watched Shazam? I watched it today. I don't think either one of us had time to go and see that movie just yet, because considering we're busy
I didn't. Did you? You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm dying to go though.
I'm going to go tonight. Maybe take my son tonight.
It's freaking
I
awesome.
saw
I
it,
think
I saw it
great.
twice. It's a great family movie. It has like a lot of heart.
I don't.
Yeah, I like that guy. Zach. Is his name Zach Levy?
Zach Levy. Yeah, he was on that
great.
spy show. Chuck. That's where he got his start from, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So, tell me really quick. Baz brought this to my attention about the Shi toy. There's like a 1/6 scale or a.
Yep. Working on it. We're doing the Shi toy. We have a 1/6 scale Shi toy, but we just got a new thing from the factory, and it's a standard toy with the joints. You see, we just got a new factory that gave us a seamless version of Shi, so you don't see any of the joints. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. So we had a meeting, the executive replicas and I this week, and I think we might cancel the jointed 6-inch figure. Because it looks good, but this new one looks amazing. You know what I mean? The new one it's got the real skin. You know, like if anyone bought the Shi 12-inch doll,
I think I don't know if this specific company, but there's a company called Feishin or
Feichen or Feishin. Executive Replicas uses Feishin.
They got incredible 6-scale bodies.
We did the Shi 6, we did the 6-scale Shi ones, and now though we're gonna do the 6-inch, and they just sent it. So he's like, bro, look at this. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better than the other toy. I don't even want to put the other toy out now. So we might cancel the other orders for the other toys if you give us. Everybody get refunded, of course. But I'm like, we got to do this toy. We've got to do this toy, the seamless, you know what I mean? Without the joints, without the knees. This is
going to be another friggin' thing I'm going to have to order and then catch
higher, it's higher level.
Where can you order the toy?
The toy will be through Executive Replicas. executivereplicas.com. But like I said, we got to see, because I think we're going to do that other toy. I'd like to do the other toy. When I saw it, I was blown away by it.
No, you want to put out the best quality possible.
I threw a monkey wrench and everything when I said, dude, we got to do this toy.
Yeah. I know it takes a long time for it to go once it goes into production and all that other stuff. So we're looking at least a year away for that then, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think a year.
Shit, the sooner the better, man. As you can see behind me, I got all these freaking hot toys.
Well, you got to see those Shi toys. If you don't mind grabbing one of them Shi dolls. You know what? My wife is just emptying out the entertainment center downstairs where we had a little Shi shelf, and she's like, put this upstairs. But let me show you the Shi toy. Hang on.
Unfreaking believable. This is awesome. I mean, like, you guys are getting a freaking he's going to get stuff out of his private collection is wonderful. Baz, again, man, everyone else can hear you. I can't hear you for shit, so that's cool. Whatever. You were probably screaming at one point during this video. Trying to do an interview, you're like, ah!
I was so ready to break.
Awesome. Everybody else that has a question,
man.
I am gonna be rattling them off to him real fast because he has another show he has to go to at 8:00 where he's gonna be doing a whole nother a live show and stuff. So you guys can tune into that. I don't know where it's gonna be. You guys can follow him over there and stuff. But everybody should subscribe to the Tucci Troopers as well. I mean, he came on here to friggin' show us this for you collectors out there. Obviously, you're gonna have the Shi 6-scale figure. And he's always doing conventions and stuff. So even if you got that, if you weren't much of a comic kid, you could probably get him to sign it and stuff. He's mad freaking cool, man. This guy, I can't speak enough cool about him. And the Feishin bodies are absolutely great. Will he be here next week? No, unfortunately, Billy is not going to be a regular on the Red Cup review. It'd be great, because he's got a whole bunch of stories. I'm going to try to get him back on when he does his Shi Kickstarter. So. Come on, guys. Go do the Zombie Sama Kickstarter. Pledge, $10 if you just want to read the comic or anything else. He has a bunch of other levels and crazy.
And then I don't know what I did with it.
We're gonna get him back on for the
Cleaned
Shi.
my studio up. But if you look here, let me show you this. This is our.
So Billy, you are you going to be? Is there going to be any way to kind of go back and get like the? I remember, unless I'm mistaken, there was like. Is there going to be like some kind of re-release for Shi, like her original stories in like one hardcover novel or something like that?
We're gonna do after the Shi. Here's the figure. After the Shi, Return of the Warrior. After the Shi Return of the Warrior, Part 1, Indiegogo ends. There it is. There's a damn toy right there. Hang on.
This is freaking awesome. It's always a calamity show with the right.
That's not it. This is my watch box. We're gonna do. We're gonna do a Shi 25th anniversary 11x17 hardcover artist proof edition, which is going to have all the original color scans of the original black and white art, which I have over there, all the original art, and then all the original colors because the book was originally hand painted. Oh, so wow. That's going to be for September, probably September. We'll launch that, or October, and that book is going to be, it's going to be 64 pages of all the original, pencils, inks, and then colors, side by side, and then we're going to do a 500-page Shi 25th anniversary omnibus edition of the first, 20 or so issues of Shi, which includes the Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti Tomoe series that laced into the first Way of the Warrior storyline. Because I never did an omnibus edition full color. I did a black and white one time, but I didn't like the paper, and I don't know why. Everybody was doing these black and whites, like the showcase ones. Right. That they were doing it, and I just didn't like the way it came out. And even Quebecor, my printer, before they went out of business, like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep all the books. You don't have to pay us for it because they did do a good job. But that's going to be our 25th anniversary in the fall. Real nice package of the two. But here's a Shi toy. This is the Viking toy, and then if you could see it, now we're going to do it as 6 inches though. And you got to see this is the levels of quality that they do and craftsmanship. And this is going to be 6 inches though, but with a new costume from the movie. Not the movie, from the new book. So if you see it, and here's the figure, she doesn't have a head on because she's packed away. This is my copy. And it's unbelievable. And like I said, you're going to see a seamless figure here. It's not a doll, right? Because men don't have dolls. Men have action figures, right?
That's right.
Right, Rob? But if you just see it, it's amazing how seamless it is. And she has, like I said, she has no head. But this is what the 6-inch figure will be like. And you have to see her face is just exquisite. It's just so beautiful. The craftsmanship that they do there. So,
and this is going to be carried through what again?
It's going to be through executive replicas. It is the same as the Viking figures, but can you see that?
Yeah. I
mean, her eyes are like jewels. You know what I mean? And so we're going to do a 6-inch figure of her like that, the new toy. And I'm like, we got to do this, buddy. I'm like, is it okay? Can we maybe, cancel the other book, the other one? Because we haven't done it yet. Because I think the orders go until June or so. So or the end of April, I think the orders are for. So he can cancel it because they haven't spent any money yet. And they'll just pay everybody, give everybody their refunds.
So it's going to be released as a 6 scale or a 12 scale in 6 inch?
12 scales are sold out. We're looking to do another 12 scale with the new costume next year. But for this will be a 6 scale. So it'll be cheaper. Because these toys are like $200. Toys. These action figures are like $200. The Shi one. So it will be cheaper. But the quality will be the same. It's just going to be a smaller version of it.
You hear that, Collector's Own executive replicas? Get off your ass and start making some calls.
Yeah, they do the fight, and it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous what they do.
All right. I know you got to go into that other thing, right? So we're going to do real quick rapid fire questions because we missed a few people, and we'll wrap this up.
Word.
Okay. How long does it take for you to put a comic all together?
Oh boy. It depends. I got to tell you, I might. It probably takes me a day. If I'm drawing, if I could write, I could write a script in a week. Well, my wife makes me write a script in a week. I'd like to take longer. I could probably do a page in a day, pencils and inks, or if I do, real my new style, which I've been doing for 20 years, is I use the Barrel Prismacolor pencils, but I just use the black. And it's this beautiful black pencil that just melts on the artboard. And when it gets colored, it looks like watercolor. A lot of my new stuff has that in it. The Archie one, of course, is inked, but a lot of the Shi stuff, I use that. I don't really use the inks for it. And but then again, I might play Call of Duty for a little while. I might go to the driving range. I got to go to the deli to get some lunch. So,
yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool.
I'm a hockey nut, so hockey comes on. Forget it. I can't do anything but watch. I'm an Islanders fan, so I got to watch. My Islanders. But right. I could probably do a day. But if I do 3 pages a week, pencils and inks, because I'm as a self-publisher or as a writer, you're doing so much other stuff too. You know what I mean? You're it's always something. Like today, we're dealing with San Diego Comic-Con because we had a problem with the rooms for the people that help us out. And so it's just always something. And you're on the phone for an hour trying to work things out, stuff like that. There's always little things that come about. You know what I mean? Orders, adding new things, paper prices, paper weights, all that stuff. But if I can do 3 pages a week, that's good. That's good.
James Belk asks, how do you feel about the DC films in general?
I like the DC films. I do. I know a lot of people don't. I loved Wonder Woman. I kind of can't get Matthew. Come here. Come here for a second. I like the Marvel films better.
Most people do.
My son will tell you. A few things. I love the treatment they did with Batman. I just didn't like Christian Bale, that even after Catwoman knew he was Bruce Wayne, he still talked like this. As Batman. I didn't like his costume. I didn't like his backed up face. What I mean? I
didn't like the Bale. I love those movies. It's my favorite Batman movies, but it's funny how Batman was the thing I liked least about those movies.
Yeah, and then in the last one, it was all daylight. The whole movie was in the daytime. So I like the classic Batman. I love the idea of him just wearing. My friend Sandy Calora made a film called Batman Dead End 20 years ago, and you guys should Google it. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the best Batman movie I've ever seen, and what he did, what Sandy did, and I have one of the. He only made 99 original DVDs and gave me one of them. And what he had is that Batman's just wearing the cloth, the cloth and maybe the leather gauntlets and stuff. But the only bulletproof thing is here, and you know what I mean? It's bat. That's right. Bulletproof. That makes sense. The rest of me should just be torn. You know what I mean? I love that. I like
that how Frank Miller described it. Why does he have this big giant yellow bat on his chest if he's supposed to be all ninja-like? And he's like, it's to draw the gunfire to where I have the most armor behind the outfit. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, and I don't mind the cape being. I don't mind the cape being bulletproof and stuff. It's just weird. I don't know. But I remember when Batman 1989 came out, and we were in college. My wife and I went to go see it. It doesn't hold up, the movie, in my personal opinion. I liked, what's his name?
Nicholson?
No, I thought Willem Dafoe should have been the Joker.
Yeah.
I even thought, I remember seeing Alec Baldwin. I'm like, man, he'd be a good
Batman, right? Yeah.
Back then, before he went crazy.
You're talking about Keaton.
Yeah, Keaton. But Michael Keaton's also, I think he's 5'9".
Yeah,
I'm
short dude.
6'2". You know what I mean? But with the DC films, like I said, I loved Wonder Woman. I liked Ben Affleck, how he looked. I just still could never get over him being Ben Affleck.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone still sees him as the guy from Mallrats, the asshole.
Yeah, I really do. I really do. But then again, you get the Marvel films Deadpool. I freaking love that. I love Deadpool.
Right. Nice.
I love Tony Stark. I loved. I think that Marvel, and I hope they did, or Disney writes Robert Downey Jr. a check for $100 million, because if it wasn't for him and his charisma and how perfect he was for Tony Stark, that's the thing. And what's cool about Tony Stark and Iron Man is that Robert Downey Jr. is maybe 5'9" or so, but you can be that inside a suit of armor,
right?
That shows his brains and all. And I love the Spider-Man films. I do. I haven't seen the new one.
Homecoming was good. The Keaton makes that, man. He's such a sick bastard.
Oh, I saw Homecoming. Well, I didn't see the animated one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Batman
yeah.
animated series?
No, the one we didn't see.
Oh, that one.
Oscar. And that's what breaks me. That's what bothers me so much. And I tweeted it out. And if you guys don't mind following me on Twitter, I'm Billy Tucci, If you see me on YouTube, we have Crowdfunding Comics on YouTube, and we have my Billy Tucci YouTube channel.
Yeah, Crowdfunding Comics, guys. Go subscribe to that as well.
And that's a lot of fun. We got all the best guests. We got guests all the way to May now. But
I saw the thing you did with Ethan, and then I followed you onto his page because you guys are having that echo problem.
We had audio problems too. This friggin' technology.
I know, it's crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube.
But what bothered me about Black Panther when winning, and what bothered me about Spider-Man winning, is that they didn't thank Steve Ditko or Stan Lee or Jack Kirby, the guys who created the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just recently started thanking Bill Finger for the whole Batman thing.
Yeah, my son Matthew loves Bill Finger. My son Matthew does not like Matthew. Come here.
Dad, ask me a question.
I just wanted to say, have all you seen Spaceballs, that movie?
What?
Spaceballs?
I just saw Spaceballs recently, so I love it. It's like the first
I never saw Spaceballs.
It's the best. And then don't remember, Ludacris Speed!
Wild, man. All right, one other thing. Somebody, I forgot who it was. I think it was Rob Just Fan asked, what issue was it that you could see the Sergeant Rock getting killed? I don't know if you said they released that or not.
Ooh, it was a special not too long ago. I think if you do Sergeant Rock dies, Google it, you'll find it. Joe Kubert drew it. I think Azzarello wrote it. I don't know. It might not have been Azzarello. It might have been someone who, like it wasn't Danny. It wasn't Danny Fingeroth. It might have been. I don't know. But you just do Sergeant Rock dies, Joe Kubert. Because he illustrated it.
Freaking awesome. All right, everybody in the chat, we got to wrap this up because Billy's got somewhere to go. Want to give him a chance to, kind of refresh himself before his next live stream. Bill, damn, you're the man, bro.
Thank you, buddy. Anytime you want me on, man, this is fun.
Yeah, from the bottom of my heart, bro. We want to get you on for the She Kickstarter and everything else.
Let's all go to the movies.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Are you in the Bronx? Are you in the Bronx?
I was in the Bronx. I work down in the Bronx. My mother's still down there. I'm up in Cortland Manor now.
Okay, hang on.
But I'm down in the Bronx all the time, man. So,
somebody, how do you feel about Bill Finger and Bob Kane?
I think that Bob Kane's a jerk.
Oh, I love this kid. See,
you went to the panel a few years ago in San Diego and all, and you can't hear?
I can.
Oh, well, explain. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh, you take it unplugged. Explain to them out there, everybody out there, about Bill Finger and the story of Bill Finger and Bob Kane and what Bob Kane did.
And how does he feel about Spaceballs?
Just a little story. How my life.
Let him talk.
Okay, he didn't see Spaceballs. Tell him about.
So basically, Bill Finger had this crazy idea of a Batman, and then so he needed help either drawing or writing.
Writing, because Bill was the artist.
Okay, so. Yeah. He hired Bob Kane, and then Bob Kane and Bill Finger made a lot of money, and so basically,
Bob Kane took all the credit.
Yeah, I know. Bob Kane took all the credit, and when Bill Finger died, all the movies and stuff were based off of Bob Kane and how he created Batman.
Yeah, created Batman.
When is not true at all.
All right.
Nice.
Freaking awesome. There you go. Bam.
You gotta give credit to Jerry Robinson.
Awesome,
too,
man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Jerry Robinson. See, that's another thing. I had dinner with Jerry Robinson like 2-3 times.
Oh.
And I remember I'm sitting there with and Jerry Robinson showing us his art. And I gotta get going. And he's showing us his art. It's me, Darwin Cook. I think George Perez, Dan DiDio took us out to dinner. And Jimmy Palmiotti was there, Amanda, and we're all sitting around. And he showed me the pages. And I'm being the publisher too. I'm going back and I flip all the pages and it says reduce 63% or something. I'm like, so you actually reduced these pages by 63%? And Darwin Cook goes, you've waited your whole life to meet, Jerry Robinson, and now you're having dinner with him and you ask him about reducing the pages, which of course he had no idea. That's the editor or the production guy wrote about. And he's like, I don't know, kid, I don't know what you're talking about. It was funny. Those are the funny comic stories. So.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, so the next time you get on, man, we'll do the She stuff, and then you got to give us a couple of comic stories and stuff, and we'll.
I can give you good ones. Some of them, most of them, I probably can't tell.
Well, hey, listen, man. You can't. What stays in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Hey, Billy, you doing the
anyways,
East Coast convention?
You'll
out in
learn
Jersey?
about that when you're a little older.
How's Vegas?
I'm not doing. No, I'm doing a show in Jersey, and I'm doing the Garden State Comic Fest. I'm doing that one in June. Yeah, it's for that one. I love Cliff's show that he does. Well, next weekend I'll be in Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. I'll be at the Greater Philadelphia Comic Con, and then on Long Island there's a Long Island Comic and Art Festival, which is on Long Island at Stony Brook University on Sunday. I'll be there, but I can't go to Cliff's show, and Cliff's show is oh gee whiz, what's the name of it? But anyway, so I can't be at that show. It's May 16th to 17th. It's my nephew's Holy Communion. So, family.
Yeah, okay. What about Florida? Anything in Florida?
Nothing in Florida for next year, I think. But maybe in the fall I'll be down in Florida.
Gotcha, cool. I moved to Miami.
Oh, you're in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, man, all right.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Miami Vice. Where's your Miami Vice shirt? All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Everybody, crowdfunding comics, go subscribe to them. We have been live with Billy Tucci. Thank everybody in the chat for joining us. Thank you, Billy, once again. We'll have you back on soon. Baz, don't go anywhere. We got to work out some kinks with you. Billy, take care, brother.
You got to work out kinks.
Thank you very much.
Care, Bill.
Thank you, everybody. See you guys later. Thanks, Rob.
And don't forget to go to Indiegogo and contribute to the Zombie Sama. This guy's got projects coming out of his ass for the next year and a half, man. Let's get this popping. All right, man.
All right, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.